actually.
I know.
Hey, inside linebackers win linebacker of the year, Colby.
On
Do we
name
keep track
value.
of inside linebackers versus outside linebackers?
Do we keep track
No.
of who's playing safety and who's playing cornerback?
Fair point.
Do we keep track of who's playing center and who's playing left tackle?
Nope.
Well,
It's
all
kind
share
of
one-
amazing. It's
one
kind of
award,
amazing. They made this, and they understand the modern concept that DBs, safeties, corners, nickelbacks are kind of blending together. But they still have this ancient idea of, all defensive linemen are fairly similar, all linebackers are fairly similar, no edge.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I have noticed that in this sim, the best spot to be on the D line for tackles is DL1. But your sack numbers tend to drop a little bit. Whereas if you move to DL2 or 3, those are the sweet spots.
Yo, that's actually something that the Flamingos did last season as well as this one. Is we realized like edge rushers just don't get much.
But
popping
it's
through the
not that
middle
edge
against
rushers
your
are
blockers.
useless, because edge rushers do stop some of the outside runs.
That is true. Yeah.
So like it's kind of a trade-off. And it becomes more like you would build differently. Like if you're building an outside DL, awareness is going to be slightly more important.
It's really a shame there's no strength stat, because having the interior DL blowing things up instead of just maybe penetrating would be so amazing.
Okay, we're not getting echo still. Good. Awesome. Problem wasn't us. All right, guys. So, Colby, you're biased, obviously, in this game. So, Mongoose, Phil, who do you got winning this?
I want the Aliens to win, but I also think the Vipers are the better team by, I think, in a shootout, one possession. I think the Vipers win by 7 points. But I would love to see the Aliens win. I think it'll be close either way. I don't think either team has a huge advantage aside from in the kicking position.
I mean,
I don't know. I think this is pretty safely the Vipers, personally. But I would love to see a defensive back like Brian Saros in the finals, just to see him rewarded for the work he's put in this year.
The thing about the Aliens is they have a lot of players that I want to see highlighted. I've always been an outspoken fan of Slayton. I genuinely think that he was the best wide receiver of season 2, although he didn't have a great year this year. Obviously, they've got Pressing, who just lit it up. They've got Saros, who might win MVP. They have some amazing. They have Roenick, who, when he plays every team other than the Vipers, actually plays very well.
When you look at Callahan, I mean, he's.
Oh God,
I think he's in second place
yes,
for
he has
quality
the
adjusted
second,
stops.
and he has the second most sacks of any player.
Yeah,
so
and he could be the best player on a defense, and he's not even close to the best player on his defense.
Yo, guys, I see him courtside. Jamiracle Robinson. He is here to view his rivals play against each other.
All right. So the Aliens are kicking off. Chuck Finn got a good piece of that one.
Yeah,
That was the reason I voted in for Kicker of the Year.
Yep.
He's a great kicker. I mean, this is a battle of two amazing kickers right here. If we're going to talk about special teams. As Ozark gets the first reception of the night.
First yards of the night.
First yards of the night, too. Yeah.
And off to Noble, who, with a good block, gets a good chunk of yards there, too.
He's going to be happy to start the night that way.
Yeah, Net Blocks isn't a real big name TE, but he has put quite a bit into blocking.
I mean, with a name like Net Blocks, you'd expect him to.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like the Smith. You come from a smithing family, you come from the block family, you're expected to block.
But yeah, Noble is one of the lowest TPE running backs in the league, and part of the reason he does so well is he does have fantastic blocking.
Is that a comment on my abilities as an offensive lineman?
No. And Noble is stopped for a loss.
Didn't do so well that time.
Yeah.
Schiffer looking to throw. He's got open targets downfield. Deep pass.
Oh, and it's
disrupted.
Disrupted by
Kent.
the safety. Fantastic.
And it's
coverage.
bad hashed. Will it strike?
Kick is good.
Oh, it's just beautiful. Sails right over the net.
Into the fountain area.
It looks like it actually hit the wall, but phased through.
Yeah. That's all right. I'll definitely take.
And he
Getting his
rips
first
it,
points
though
in the
not
postseason.
quite far enough to stop Slayton from taking the ball back for more yards than if he hadn't.
Slayton gets to about the 28. And there's pressing. He's going to be the key to the Aliens game. If he can stay in the game, I think the Aliens can win this.
TLK, you played with me and Ronan back in the first year. How
Yes.
do you think his game has changed since then?
Well, for starts, the interesting thing about Ronak is he's the only one of the three of us to actually remain in the same colors.
Very key to any football player's game.
I think his team is probably... So this is kind of the weird statement. His team is weirdly similar to the Season 1 Chocobos team that he's looking at. You've got a powerful, powerful running back in Troy Pressing. You have a great wide receiver core from what you switch out Durden and God, what's the other one's name? Who are both on the rush, mind you, and Jackson. Who, let's be real, Jackson torched the Flamingos, and
Yeah,
you've
he
got
did.
now the speedsters of Slayton and Williams. I mean, the defense is not as strong. It's a weirdly similar Chocobos feel with a better kicker. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that assessment, and I think we've seen Ronak come a long ways in terms of awareness and being responsible with the ball, which definitely helps his team a lot.
Yes.
And we can see that with the results in this drive.
And the Aliens are going to score the first touchdown.
Let me just say, it is very rare to see the Aliens succeed on a sustained drive like that.
It really is. They have been a very boomer bust team all season. And if they can keep that going, I think this could spell doom for the Vipers.
It's definitely disturbing.
Another way that they're similar to those Season 1 Chocobos. But I think the Vipers will give us something here.
Oh, I think the Vipers are going to strike back as Mika Main, the fullback, is going to take it about to the house.
Oh my God.
Holy
Wow.
crap!
And
Well,
they
if there's a guy you want to
Big
see that happen
play,
to, it's Mika May.
Big game, bullet train, Mika Main with a massive touchdown run to give the Vipers a lead right after they surrendered the first touchdown of the game.
It was exactly the play you need to keep in this game.
Fantastic blocking as well. Credit to the receiving core of the Vipers for helping him out there.
Oh, yeah. Play action.
Gotta
Ronak
love
has
that
time.
block.
Who has a
Ronak
man?
has Williams.
Did
We're
you-
not getting pressure to Ronak as fast as I'd like.
Well, yeah, but did you guys see that block that didn't give the blocking animation?
Yes.
There's some pressure.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Ronak is sacked. I think that's our first sack of the night.
I believe so.
Long out pass.
Ooh, just a slight overthrow. William Slayton over there.
No, that was like 5-foot overthrow.
Not going to get a lot of chances like that.
Really can, as they're going to try for a punt now, and this is the Vipers' chance to really get ahead, as it's going to be a touchback.
The more Ronak drops back, the higher the odds of the Vipers winning.
Pressing
For some
is
reason,
going to be stopped
but
there. Not pressing.
in passer rating, he was the second best QB in the league, but when he plays against the Vipers, he suffers.
That's really interesting. Talk about a kryptonite. Smitty
that was
Skywalker
close.
saves that play to end the first quarter.
I was expecting a pick.
I was honestly expecting to pick there too, and I think that was
Yeah.
Saros.
You don't get one past Saros like that very often.
No.
Noble bounces himself like a pinball to get the first down.
It's a good strategy, as Ronak is in trouble, and Noble
Oh, wow.
saves another pick. They're in the red zone.
Hand off to Noble.
Noble
One
is
block,
in.
Ball's in.
You were saying, Colby, that you find when Ronak throws it more, you win more. But it seems like, in general, when you throw it more, you lose more.
That's really not the case for the Vipers. The Vipers are kind of the exception in that our passing game is stronger than our running game.
The AI does tend to stop calling plays when one side of the ball is getting shut down. They'll tend to start focusing on the other.
And Ronak is sacked again. Couldn't get it off. Harper Salter is responsible for both sacks of the night so far. And Ronick is in
Oh.
real trouble.
Wow, they're in danger here.
Smuckledorf with fantastic push through.
This game could get ugly really fast as Chuck Finn is going to punt it from his own end zone.
We have the chance to take pressing out of the game.
Which is really weird because they also haven't used pressing that much after that first drive. They haven't used
This could. Oh wow! You
Balthazar
don't see punt
Orbison.
returns like that very often.
Great
So-
punt return.
I took some crap for it early in the season, but I said our strategy of having our slowest punt returner, or our slowest defensive back as the punt returner. And that's why I do it, is so that the blocking is always there ahead of the returner.
So that is something actually that the Aliens have copied for this game.
Oh, interesting.
I think the Rush are doing it as well, but our punt returners really.
And Net Blocks has now put the Aliens into hero ball mode.
Dangerous place to be, guys.
It was a nice pass up the sideline.
It was a
I
beautiful
love how it's
pass.
the role players that are showing up big this game.
I mean, this is kind of where you need them to show up. It's the playoffs. The teams you play are
What I'm
going
saying
to
is,
be
like,
good.
Like, if you'd had to guess where our points were going to come from, you'd probably say Ozark, you know?
I say Banks.
I don't know. If they roll up with their character sheets, are you sure they're game ready?
Ooh. And Ronick's in trouble. He looks like he dodged it, but instead is sacked for 13 yards. And pressing. Gets a
wow.
pass and
Talk about
breaks
making something out of
1,
nothing.
2, 3 tackles.
Pressing almost kills his own quarterback by pushing him into the D line, but takes the pass and managed to get them out of a sticky
Michael
situation.
Williams is going to get them downfield fast.
Oh, goodness.
They
Ronick
really
is
need
in
to take
trouble.
advantage of this opportunity.
Ooh,
Oh.
that should have been a pick right there. That's, I think, 3 almost picks that we've seen. 2 were the Vipers receivers, but that one is going to
wow!
be... Yee. Ronick is doing vintage
Playing with
Ronick
fire.
right now.
He's seeing ghosts.
Flashes of season 1.
Seriously.
Oh, wow!
And it takes them out of
That's a
field
tough
goal range.
field. Oh wow! They really need to use that drive.
And Chuck Finn can't get it quite wide enough to coffin them in.
That's the curse of power.
Watching that punt have exactly as much power as it needed to be a field goal was painful.
Thomas Noble stops, loses himself for a minute, and is able to make something out of that as he scores a touchdown.
It looked like the Aliens only ran one safety on that play.
They read the defense well then.
Sometimes I find whether you're in a 4-3 or a 3-4, the AI likes to whip out a 4-4 for some reason.
I mean, so with 3-4 and 4-3, the only difference is those playbook is if in a 3-4 or 4-3 doesn't exist, and vice versa. But things like a 6-2, goal line defense, those all still exist in both of them.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of unfortunate because I don't think many teams would willingly use the 4-4 very often.
Yeah. I want to just run a pure nickel defense, but that's not an option. As Smithers Lockington gets the
Honestly,
pick.
I would run a dime all day. Having those dime backs there to stop outside runs, I think that would be incredibly valuable.
Fergus
First step
Callahan
on Shipper.
shows up and gets a sack. And Ryan Serro shows up big.
You knew he wasn't going to be quiet all.
Oh
Yeah,
no, it was
we
a
were-
question
we
of
were waiting
when
for it.
rather than if.
It was a gorgeous arm punt.
It's just kind of a shame because, you know, if he'd done that earlier,
Yes,
they may
yeah.
not be in hero ball. Oh.
Oh, and the Aliens players run
Ronick
into each
playing
other.
with fire.
It's one of their favorite plays. We've seen it in so many of their games.
That one isn't, though, as he overthrows it just slightly. And they're going to punt. Saros' pick cannot get them where they need to be. As Balthazar Orbison is going to take the punt and get to about 53. 47, close enough.
How much do we know about who ends up on punt and punt
So,
return?
punt return, so glad you asked. Defensive back 2, not to be confused with
Sorry, I mean, not the returner, but the personnel with them.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh yeah, same.
Because it seems like it's really easy to outkick your coverage on punts.
Smitty Skywalker. What a catch. And there's a flag. I think this is a false start. No, it's offsides.
They're just so desperate to slow the Vipers down.
I mean, with 20 seconds left, you can really hope that you just kind of keep them to either a field goal and you can possibly come back because you're getting the ball in the second half. But even so, this is not looking good for Roswell.
Now, I hate to say it because I know it's a playoff game, but zero chance. Like I said, Ronick cannot lead a comeback against the Vipers.
I mean, you know, if there's ever time for us to all be proven wrong right here, it's now. But I don't see him doing it, no.
Pressing's too big a part of their offense.
It really is, and it's kind of really the... Which is funny, because their offense is good without him. It's not like it's a bad offense. It's just they don't seem to be able to do much as Kimari Coach steps out of bounds and
So
ends
I've
the
talked
half.
about it in past streams, but it's very relevant right now. Wow, 6 sacks in the first half. That is above average.
151
The thing about
yards.
Aliens offense is, if you look at Ronick's stats, he only had a 57% completion percentage in the season, which was the lowest of all of the upper tier QBs. However, his passer rating was the second best in the league. The reason for that is generally with this team's receivers being so fast, when they do complete the ball, it's for a touchdown.
It's very
The
boom
fact
or
that
bust.
Vipers actually have the coverage to tackle someone on those deep plays and stop it from being a touchdown is what makes such a brutal matchup for him. Because he will get those long completions every once in a while, but it'll just be a chunk of yardage. It won't be enough to score, which means he'll then have to do it again, and the odds of that are pretty low.
And Rodick is sacked, what is that, 8?
Aliens are getting probed.
Yeah, and they're going to punt again. I don't think the Aliens are going to see... Here we go. Here's a bold prediction. The Aliens are not seeing an end zone for the rest of the night.
Oh, I think they're going to get one more.
I think they're going to get safety.
I think Friars
that would be an achievement. The Vipers are not known for that.
But they've been playing with fire so much. They've been up back against the end zone like half their drives.
Yeah. It's a question of when rather than if, it feels like.
I think the Aliens' real hope, though, is if they somehow manage to get the ball into the under realm.
Oh, geez. Then we have to resim?
Yeah. Then they could call upon the powers of time in order to reset
God damn it.
the game.
We don't need that kind of controversy.
And then we would have to just commentate as if this entire
Oh,
show. Oh
wow.
my God! How did he?
What a
even make it
catch.
to there? Oh my God! And then we would have to commentate as if this whole chunk of game that we're watching now had now. Scorp has said that Ronick should start doing snow angels.
I think Rodick doing Snow Angels is the last thing the Aliens want right now.
Well, if he started doing snow angels, it would end the game.
In the game, yeah.
Yeah. And Net Blocks is going to get a touchdown there.
Holy crap. The dude only had like 3 touchdowns all season.
Hey, if there's
I'm sure
ever-
it was more than that. I got to check, though.
This is what would have happened if the Flamingos made the playoffs this season.
Aliens or Vipers?
The Vipers would have still made it. If we had made it over the Aliens, we would have been stopped like this. I'm confident of that.
Yeah.
Net blocked 3 touchdowns all season. He has 2 this game.
Wow. Slayton's going to keep this drive alive.
So what do you see? What do you see for the
Look at that
future for the
triple
Aliens next year?
So,
Well, honestly, their O-line's getting better.
I
yeah.
mean, this league is so volatile, it's hard to tell how good a team will be from season to season.
I think if the Aliens can basically look at free agency and say, yeah, we're going to go hard on defense, keep our offense together, I think they can be a real force next season.
Well, I mean, keeping an offense of this quality together will require a lot of cap space, depending on what the players end up demanding.
Here's kind of it. I mean, you say it's a lot of cap space. Most of these players are Season 1 creates. Troy Pressing, Season 1. He's not going anywhere because he's GM.
And he'll probably be pretty cheap as well.
Yeah, he'll probably go for pretty cheap. He's basically maxed out. He doesn't, in the same way that Divas Jimbo doesn't need a big contract, he doesn't need a big contract.
What you're failing to account for in that, though, is players who want to fight regression still want big contracts.
That's true.
So what I think you're going to see is if their offense can stay together and then they want to build defense, it's entirely dependent on their offense not all signing up with an agent and asking
Eating on Schiffer's ass.
Absolutely. But I think with a loss like this, they're going to be hungry. They're going to want a chance at redemption.
But will they take that with the Aliens or another team?
I think they
That'll
take
be
it.
Interesting to see.
I think they take it with the Aliens.
So Phantom, just to go on your comment, like I said, this is not an accurate showing of the Aliens' value. This is the Aliens against their Kryptonite matchup.
Right. I think the Aliens playing just about, except maybe the Wallabies, I think they would have shown up very differently.
I mean, the Aliens did beat the Wallabies earlier this season. Of course, so did the Flamingos, so that could just be
how
the
early are we talking?
The Aliens are that team that if you can't stop their deep plays, they'll just light you up.
Like that.
I'm kind of surprised Ronek's still over 50% completion.
Butt stuff. A guy who's been very quiet all game makes the catch. And Ronek is sacked.
It seems like more of his plays have ended with him in the dirt than with him throwing the ball to a defensive back right now.
It's suspiciously close, yeah.
There isn't a very close double coverage there.
But that sack is going to get them out of field goal range once again.
Man, I feel for Finn because he really is a fantastic kicker, and you know he would have loved to have gotten a couple of those chances.
Oh, he would have made that.
It would be great if we could hack the play calling AI and some of that sort of stuff.
It really would be.
I've asked.
I know. I'm just wishful thinking.
I wonder what it would take to do something like that. Because, yeah, you're just changing one AI if-then. I mean, it's not a particularly...
Yeah, but I gotta find the logic code, and I don't know where the hell that's kept. As Net Blocks is going to score his third touchdown of the night.
Anything that's hard-coded like that, instead of being in a file that the program accesses, is just so much harder to modify.
So given the excellent job he's already done blocking and his 3 receiving touchdowns, what would it take for him to not be the MVP of this game?
Really easy. The Aliens Buster, the wildest comeback you will ever see in your life. As Botty McBotternson is starting it. If the Aliens win right here, it's going to Ronek.
Oh my God. That's the third reception for that body.
Wow.
If the Aliens win right here, I'm going to question my relationship with reality.
Look, if the Aliens come back from this is just going to be the most amazing game we will have ever seen in our life.
And Phantom, Finn actually has the highest field goal percentage this season.
Oh no, the aliens get in the way. The Aliens.
I was amazed because I hadn't noticed him at all, and then I go to place my vote for Kicker of the Year, and wow,
Phantom,
he really turned it on.
Of high quality players should be Colby.
Ryan Saros has a great point.
I had the highest extra point percentage, but he actually had the higher field goal percentage.
Does our Twitch channel have any sub emotes?
Have any what?
Emotes? Do we have any emotes yet?
No, we should probably add some.
We should add some.
I mean, Saros, I can't disagree with your logic. You guys have really limited Ozark's impact. I wouldn't have expected blocks to go off like this.
Bagel, with the comment about fixing your stats, I need to know where they're wrong. Telling me blanket I need to fix them, help me out
give us
here.
something to work with.
as Noble. And that is my wife running about.
Making
Yep.
sounds.
She wanted to be heard on the stream, and so she was.
Oh, no one has actually made demands. This is all speculation.
No.
Nope.
That's me sending that clip.
You're missing like 20 extra points, Bagel? Okay. So what we're saying is we got to look through the extra points and make sure that's lining up. Great.
To be
Cool,
fair,
cool.
mine were wrong earlier this year as well, so that
Yeah,
does
yeah. No, that's fine. I can look there. At least I know where I'm looking. It's a little bit easier.
I didn't have a single extra point
make.
recorded in the
Where
second
are you
week.
getting 20? You mean like 20 that weren't counted at all? Because it's saying you've only missed 8.
What's the numbers? Slayton makes 2 people miss, but can't get something out of this.
But I'll tell you what. Meatwad, I'll check your numbers.
We are figuring out the cap. I think Mongoose, Colby, and I are still doing some final calculations, but we will have the cap either today or tomorrow.
I mean, tomorrow was the plan.
Yeah, so we'll have it tomorrow. I think I made the right call putting the other game second. As there's a pick again for Devonta
Here's
Duncan. No.
No, Meatwad was Wallabies.
Well, it was on season 1. He didn't exist.
Oh, they're asking about his history. Yeah, he was on the Rush season 2.
He was the one that hit the post.
Yep. Slayton.
Oh, that was a little scary.
Can't quite get there.
This will likely be their final possession.
After a painful game, Pressing gets to get clobbered on a play that won't even count.
I mean, the sad part is Pressing did still score both of their touchdowns.
Yeah.
One receiving, one rushing.
I think what's really
Where's Williams?
crazy...
Williams just poured his heart out today.
I don't think the AI was ready for 2 99 speed guys. Think of how many crossing routes the aliens had that basically players ran into each other on.
That's an interesting thought. I noticed that in some of my test sims last night.
I wonder if having 2 99 speed players is actually bad.
This game's...
If one player is slower than the other, they can't run face first into each other.
Correct.
Fantastic game from Schiffer.
Phenomenal. By the way, just so anyone's wondering, we are not going to post stats. We're going to post this whole game to YouTube, so you will be able to view it at any point at any time. We'll give the stats team off for playoff week because we just do.
Ooh, Mika Main, I'll never forget that run.
It was that was kind of a great run.
No kind of about it.
Mika main player of the game.
But
So Colby, how does it feel headed
blocks.
to your first Super Casual Bowl?
it feels great. I mean, I think we can beat either team, but it'll be a real challenge.
So just a thought about NetBlock's performance tonight. You know, you have a team like the Aliens that have such a great cornerback as Ryan Saros. I think that kind of that opens the game up a little bit for a guy like NetBlocks. It takes your primary receiver out of it and leaves you looking somewhere else.
Well, I mean, it was a solid strategy, but it's also where the Vipers excel. We have 4 viable wide receivers we can throw to, and 2 viable tight ends, plus our running back and fullback. So taking any one player out of the game doesn't really stop us.
Phantom, the season 1 playoff games are kind of weird and
They're
wonky
long
because
gone.
no, they're saved on my computer. I have them.
Okay.
But remember how the stream kept cutting out?
Oh.
So I've still got to splice them together, and that's a little tricky. So it's on my list. It's just I got to get there.
You have to be
Alright.
pleased with 11 sacks, Colby.
What a game.
Call me Goldman, because I've got the sacks.
All right, so we got game 2 now. Who do we got winning this one?
Ooh, so when we did our podcast, I said Rush, but I'm kind of leaning Wallabies now.
I've been calling Wallabies since the day they made the playoffs.
Mongoose is biased.
So I can tell you what will determine the fate of this game.
All right.
Safeties.
Because you can only stop Divas Jimbo for so long. So if the play calling AI is smart and it gives it to Jimbo enough early on, basically going to be impossible for the Rush to win. But what I saw in my Sims when they didn't do that and they threw it too much,
Yeah.
Rush defense starts to eat, and the Rush offense can get them into hero ball, and then they have a lot of trouble coming back.
I do have a comment on that, though. Jimbo has only played 2 playoff games before, and one of them he got completely shut down in.
I don't think the Rush have the linebackers for it.
They have the linebacker that it did it before.
Yeah.
I just got to see what I got for weather. Hold on 1 second.
So this game is entirely dependent on a one-on-one matchup.
Yes, there are no other factors, in fact.
So the winner, all the credit goes to one of those 2 players. Are we ready?
Ooh. So last time we had one holdout for the Aliens and the Vipers won. This time we got one holdout for the Rush.
A rather generous holdout as well.
It hurts to have my physiotherapist rule against us.
The GM of the Wallabies has said that he simmed and his team won 30-0, and he believes
really
that we should go
low-scoring
with
game.
that result.
Oh, I think this is going to be a defensive grit fest. I'm really excited, especially in the rain, in a dome. It's going to be great.
Thing is, I think the defense is so impactful that it's going to set up scores.
How many interceptions do we think happened this game?
I'm going to go with 4.
I think we're going to see 2 interceptions and double-digit sacks from both teams.
Ooh, I like that one.
4 interceptions would be, I think,
Alright.
lower than any of my test sims.
I think we will see 30 sacks in this game.
It won't be that high.
And Deebus Jimbo is reminding people he is Deebus Jimbo early. And what a start for the Wallabies. And what a not good final from Meatwad. Hey, Hummus
Hoping that
guy.
matters.
So this is where I say, remember how Meatwad was talking about how his kicks were wrong? And he was missing
Maybe not
stuff.
so wrong.
I'm calling shenanigans.
And thank you, Hummus. I'm looking forward to it.
As Brister avoids a sack and finds Dexter Jackson. Brister has time, has Jackson again. Jackson's going to get the first down, keeping the rush drive alive.
Jackson likes big games.
He does. This is like where he shines. Barkley's going to get the first down. No, he's not. He's going to be just shy.
Yeah.
I'd throw the red flag on that one.
No need.
You get a yellow flag instead. As David
Former
S.
Rush
Pumpkins.
member David S. Pumpkins throws us a bone.
I mean, Scorp, I get what you're saying. You held Barkley, but as long as they're still getting first downs.
And Akana is going to get them just out of touchdown. What a catch. As McBotternson, the fullback, runs it in.
Unexpected hero.
Tackled into the end zone. they
And
do
Vincent
make the
Burns
extra
Jr.
point.
is going to give the Rush the lead.
There's nothing like a duel between bad kickers.
And, yeah. And The deciding factor on this game will be Vincent Burns out-kicking his opponent. That is what we were all thinking.
Yeah,
Yes.
If the Wallabies lose by 1 point, we know who to blame.
Apache avoids a sack, but the guy can't come away with the ball.
Did about 5 different test sims of this matchup.
Fairly
In one of the
Gerald.
games, Rush sacked Apache 4 straight plays to get a safety.
Wow. Wait, 4. So that must have been late in the game or hero ball.
It absolutely was, yeah.
That's beautiful. That's the kind of event we need to see actually happen in a game.
It'll
I want
happen.
to see one of Colby's block punts.
Jimbo
I
was
only
saved
know that
by a
once.
flag from Pryor. I love you.
Pryor, I love you, the sleeper agent.
He's lining up at linebacker tonight. He might not be used to it.
And Ben Samuel, the other fullback, who I think is now a tight end.
Fullback showing up big this game, or tonight.
Yeah. Apache play action. Nearly gets sacked, and wow.
Both teams are pretty tough.
I don't think it's a cakewalk for the Vipers either way, as Scott
Oh, did
Michaels,
they
the
stop?
tight
Ooh,
end,
that's close.
runs out of bounds and can't get in. It's 3rd and goal. Rush defense gets a sack.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, they go for another passing play.
And it's the bad hash.
What did I say?
And Meatwad's
Like,
kick is
it's
no
Oh my
good.
God.
Oh! Meat wad?
I feel for you, dude.
All right,
Like,
so here's the question. Are we seeing a public execution of Meatwad tonight?
Only if they lose.
I think it'll be very private.
Time
know,
to
we
commit
don't-
alignment. As
You know,
Brister,
we don't know what
Oh
they've
my
been
God,
doing.
that should have been an int.
that should have
He
been a pick
sailed
6.
that.
Brister's in trouble. Brister's got nothing, and
Oh,
they got one more try to get an interception, a stop, or a safety. Safety here is what they want, and they don't get it off.
How?
Intercepted!
Mendonca, though, will get the pick.
probably about the
That's
same. as
better
the
than a
punt would have been.
safety.
And a flag. This one's going to be an offsides, but Ben Samuel's going to get them the first down, and they're going to decline
Oh
it.
no, that was an early hold.
That's an early
Don't
hold.
speak
Wow.
too soon, TLK.
I mean, I kind of thought the same thing though.
Yeah, how dare you assume my penalty?
And Divas Jimbo is tackled for a loss of 5 by Ben Alexander-Arnold.
He was given the ball in a bad spot there. With
Oh,
3 guys who
absolutely.
can run right at him to get the tackle, it's hard.
Outside of field goal
Let me
range.
tell you, every time the sim went well for my test sim went well for the Rush, it was Ben Alexander-Arnold that made the difference.
Oh!
Fairly Lit Gerald's going to keep the Wallabies alive.
In that in that 3 receiver
And
set,
Pryor, I love you with the interception.
making up for his previous failure in bunches.
As
And off the
Sean
Barkley, it
Barkley
goes wide.
is going to get a first down.
What a game.
Let me tell you, I thought there'd be more than 2 touchdowns by now.
Dude, this has been a
Snap
great
now.
game. I love it. I told you it was going to be a defensive grit fest.
is
Seven.
like- This is like the Patriots Rams Super Bowl.
Yeah, but this one's more fun because we're announcing.
Yeah. Also, neither of these teams have won before.
Yeah.
Well, all 4 teams that are in the playoffs have never won.
Well, now only 3.
Yeah.
And
So we're
Wallabies
guaranteed a new
get the
champ no
stop.
matter what.
What you love to see. Monster
Yeah.
of the Woods is going to take the ball down to about the 42.
I mean, regardless of what happens, it's really impressive to see an expansion team like the Wallabies come out and be this competitive.
And Jimbo is going to put the Wallabies ahead. As we've seen our 2nd touchdown tonight, or 3rd touchdown tonight. And Meatwad's kick is finally good.
Surprised they didn't go for 2.
They would have only done that if Toronto had scored another touchdown already.
And now the Rush need to respond, as I believe... No, the Rush responding here and ending with a lead and a half is going to give them the ball back. So,
Well, there's still 4 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Barkley
Yep.
gets shut down on a run up the middle.
as
the D-line doesn't-
Brister is sacked by
He's like a
Adeli
young Ben
Depengu.
Roethlisberger. He loves to hold on to the ball.
That
I don't
just
think
seemed like a
Roethlisberger did much of that, though.
And the Wallabies defense gets another stop.
It
I
felt
mean-
like the receiver there just didn't know what the QB wanted from him.
I think there was a miscommunication there. I think the thing about the Wallabies defense is we always look at the rush defense and we look at their defensive line. The Wallabies linebacker group is just evil. Like, they can stop anything. They can pass rush, they can stop the run. They are a difference-making group in a way that I don't think any other position group is. And that's not a knock on the rush defensive line. The rush defensive line is disruptive. It is destructive. But it can't stop Jimbo the way that the Wallabies linebackers can stop Barkley. And Hummuscott,
Ooh,
yes,
Apache,
Wednesday.
he's going to regret holding on to that.
As Ben Alexander-Arnold is going to get the sack. And Apache's going to be
Oh,
sacked
wow.
again.
Third and
John
third.
Voight, not a
Drive.
dentist.
You don't see all that often.
Fortunately, you see it a lot against the Rush.
And Max Alstott's going to come away with the ball. The Rush have a chance to get back.
It's not
Alstott used to be a receiver. He's got great ball skills.
Brister's got time. Brister's got McBotternson, and Brister's got the 2-minute warning.
Almost God, you say you're biased because you're in the PBE head office, but I'm also in PBE in the PBE management chat, and that makes me think less of it.
And what a catch by Durden. He gets a bit of separation there, and it shows up.
It was a beautiful play. The tackle afterwards was also impressive.
Oh,
Managed to keep up with
absolutely.
the fast
There's a
receiver.
flag.
I think this is coming back.
This is coming back, holding on Senakobakawa, who is looking, Kobiakawa, sorry, who is looking to be a big-name running back going into the draft.
Oh, pass
Wow,
to Durden.
another great play by
That
Durden.
touchdown credited? No, he does not. They don't give him the role credit like they do on some other players. But Barkley manages to run it in, giving the Rush the chance to put themselves ahead.
Let's see what Vinny does.
He puts it through the uprights, giving the Rush a 1-point lead.
1-point lead. Here's kind of what I predict is going to happen. The Rush are going to go into the second half down. I think Divas Jimbo is going to be the difference maker within this drive.
I don't think he does it.
Guys, I'm getting a
I don't
question of
think
the
any of us
stream
would be
lagging.
surprised
Can
if
we
he
just
does.
confirm if it is or is not?
It's not really lagging for me.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, that one I do want to make sure of.
Yeah, we're allowed to break character for that.
Oh,
Oh,
every time.
2 tackles.
Told you Jimbo's going to be the difference maker. As Jimbo's got 189 on 6 rushes.
They aren't favoring Jimbo for... Oh, he made it irrelevant.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. What a
He used the Rush safety like a cape.
That was something.
That's what I mean. If you want to win, you give the ball to Jimbo.
It's seriously. The problem is you can plan for Divas Jimbo as much as you want, but there is a reason that person is just so damn good.
I don't know. He's averaging over 30 yards a carry. Like, that is definitely
Eventually,
not
he's
gonna be
going
your average result.
No, he's having it. He's showing them he wants to be the first player with 2 rings.
I'd like to credit the Flamingos development staff. We put a lot of effort into making him
And a
robotic
fumble.
superhuman, and it worked.
The lateral.
So it's interesting. I'm actually going to say a fumble here because the Wallabies are the only team that have multiple fumble recoveries.
It's all in linebackers, man.
Dude, it really is. Speaking of linebackers, Tuca Salamanca with the interception.
Oh,
As the
there it is
Rush
again.
take the play from the Aliens.
that one
That's
could have gone all the
not
way,
what you're
too.
supposed to do when you steal a play.
They said, look, this Aliens play is bold. We're going with it. But Durden's
Oh,
going to make
Durden
up for it.
doesn't-
And wow, I was wrong on my bet.
And Nakana actually helped a teammate get a touchdown for once.
It's a rare occurrence. As Vincent
But
Burns is
sometimes
going to
someone
put the
does
Rush
ego in check.
ahead at the half. The Rush are getting the ball back. This has been a wild game, folks.
Okay, I just gotta
Fewer
say,
sacks than
three
expected.
sacks. I mean, to be fair, only 19 pass plays for the Wallabies, but still.
You know, I think what's really amazing is the difference between Jimbo and Chonk Barkley here. Chonk
Chonk
Barkley
is a scrub.
has 63 yards. Divas Jimbo has 4 more yards than the entirety of the Rush offense.
I mean, we've seen this a lot in a few games throughout the season when Barkley's playing against really high-level teams. He just doesn't perform well enough,
Yeah.
especially against the Wallabies, who are the best run shutdown team in the league.
That's fair.
But by that same token, we got to give Brister some credit.
Brister's been playing
Yeah, he's
his
playing the game of
absolute
his
heart
life.
out.
Uh,
We've been talking all season about how the Rush pass offense has been stuttering, and it has been the exact opposite this game.
I will say Jimbo's very humble comment in the chat, but in truth, you do have to admit Jimbo hasn't had the easiest run for some of these touchdowns. He has broken a tremendous number of tackles this year.
Yes, and
Ooh.
speaking of Brister playing his
Barkley
heart out,
Brister hurt us.
he just did not there. The Wallabies have a chance to score.
They do give it to Jimbo, who breaks yet another tackle. The block's just a little bit late, so he does get tackled before he could potentially make up even further yardage.
You can't go for the big hit like that on a guy like Jimbo. You got to break down and just take it as it comes.
Exactly.
One,
Issa, just so you know, you've also had a sack tonight. You've had a great game.
but at what point will he be able to hurdle a man?
As Jimbo is tackled for a loss there, making it from a 2nd and 5 to a 3rd and 10.
You can't blame Jimbo for that one. The
No.
whole O-line blew up.
The whole line
Apache
did
was
blow
gonna
up.
Apache should have gotten rid of that, though.
That
yeah,
one he should
Apache
have.
would have been completely sacked on that play if not for the handoff.
And Meatwad's kick is just a little too powerful and a little too in. And so the Rush are going to get some good yards here. What would have been a coffin corner. As
O-line
Brister
can't
is
hold
sacked.
up. The sacks are coming, man.
Tuca Salamanca. I told you we're
The
going to see.
O-line's getting tired. They can't keep up anymore.
No, it's a wear and tear. As Dexter Jackson, the hero of Super Casual Bowl 1, is going to get the Rush ahead by 7.
He
And
loves
if it's
big game.
He does love a big game.
You can just see the pain in the eyes of the defensive backs for the Wallabies.
It's starting to hurt. You
really
need.
are a great group.
This is where you need a touchdown. This is where you go. We've got to rally back.
When you got to rally, you got to trust your big performers. They got to give it to Jimbo.
They really do. But I think they're going to play. They're going to pass here. No, play action. They fooled me, and they get sacked because John Boyd, not a dentist, did not get fooled.
Jimbo
So-
just got blasted.
Scorp, just to keep in mind, you have 2 99 speed defensive backs. They have a 99 speed wide receiver in Jackson.
Oh,
Actually, I think it's 3.
And Akana.
that's
and
the very
probably
picture
Dirk
of
by
a
now.
deflected pass. It's like they were playing volleyball.
DeLance Sharp, who I keep calling DeBlaze Sharp, is going to get that punt return for a couple of yards. The Rush have a chance to really seal it here.
If they
Yeah,
can get
they
them into
could have
hero
touched
ball,
down an
that's
extra point
dangerous.
here. And I think it's game over.
Divas Jimbo will be out of the game. It's going to be on Apache. Yeah. Of
Yeah,
course,
Well, he'll
That ain't
only
gonna
be out of the game if they make the field goal. Or the extra point.
that's true.
That's a good point.
Not really. I mean, the thing is, extra point, it's going to be dead center, short range. Burns is at, I want to say, like 80
Botty
accuracy now.
McBotternson.
Even
What
you
a
missed
play.
one
We
of
talked,
them this
we talked
season.
about the role
Yeah.
players showing up last game. Ooh, dangerous pass from Brister.
If you can't get a good performance out of Botty McBotternson, you're not a championship contender.
It seems like he's all over the field.
He really is. Chonk Barkley is going to get some yards here. And
thank you,
David S.
Axis.
Pumpkins.
Hey, Scorp. I'd like to ask you a question. You gonna thank Axis for that one?
And Apache
Oh,
is sacked
no!
for safety.
Oh, safety, boys!
Wow.
Oh, look at me
Yeah, that one you kind
talking
of.
shit to Scorp, getting punished immediately.
That was kind of on you. Like, I believe in karma.
And yet the Rush were averaging a safety a game against the Wallabies in tests, so like I'm not even that surprised by it.
Scorp has said this is why I left. The only season where you got to play running back the whole time, we won.
And that one's, I mean, look, it's
Was that
still
a
a
drop?
2-score game. It's still a quarter of game left. This is still anyone's game.
It's high winds, dude, means something completely different than thank you, Axis. Very cool. Barkley does break away for a huge run into the end zone.
And
That's going to be a tough lead to take.
Yeah.
When it's over.
And Divas Jumbo is officially out of the run game.
Credit where credit's due. The Wallabies have played a phenomenal game.
It was the sacks on Apache on some of those drives that really put him dead in the water.
And it's
as well
kind of
as some
sad
costly
because
drops.
the Rush got to have one drive against Jimbo in the second half, and they actually held him. But you're like, oh, that's just one series. I was really curious to see if they were going to keep that up and, start lowering Jimbo's average. Now we'll never know.
As Ben Alexander-Arnold is going to get a pick, as this game is going to go
Where
from
was that
bad
going?
to worse.
It was going right to a Rush defender.
I think Apache's starting to get in his own head.
I think what I think it was. I think we just saw massive coverage on a receiver, and basically the AI just threw to where the receiver should have been in the play.
But Adeli Depengu with his second pick, he is trying
Brister-
to keep them in this game.
Brister never wants to be outdone.
That's fucked up.
I love it. Ooh.
Apache just got his neck broken.
I mean, the thing about Apache, bear in mind, we are talking about a rookie quarterback facing the most brutal defense. Maybe not the best, but definitely the most.
Oh, Dixie Kong! Big
And they're out of
touchdown.
Hero Ball.
Kong showing us why a lot of people voted Rookie of the Year.
Offensive rookie.
This game isn't over yet, folks.
Thank you, Axis. Very cool.
No one would ever expect the Wallabies to be done.
Jordan
Oh.
gets to the 30. 29. That was close.
I'm always surprised by how often tackles happen while blocking.
I think
Barkley
that's
tackled
part
for
of the.
loss.
I think it's part of the break block stat.
The O-line does hold for this play. They get a deep pass. But
Oh.
The aliens play.
again.
The aliens double whammy. It's not a good play, folks. You don't want it in your playbook.
It works in outer space.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bad drop.
And that's going to give the Wallabies a chance to really try and get back into this.
This is what you get for run. This is what you get for having too good a wide receiver core.
Huh. You ever think Axis... So, I'll ask Axis about this later, which is kind of our weird play.
They should probably know about it.
They should probably know. As
Another
Divas
handoff to
Jimbo is
Jimbo?
going to get a
Oh.
first down.
That tackle came out of nowhere. I thought he was gone.
Oh, yeah. If that tackle didn't happen, all of a sudden, the Wallabies are down by 3.
They give it to Jimbo again, who does get a little stuck in the reads, but gets him 6 yards regardless.
But
Pitch
the
to
outside
Jimbo.
pass to Jimbo.
Oh.
3rd and 1. I think
Outside.
they're
That
going
man
to run
died
it
for that
again.
tackle.
They need 1 yard.
They don't
Oh,
get it.
Wow, the D line comes through.
Goes up.
Okay, Meatwad needs to make this kick on the bad
The
hash.
Bad hash. Oh, long distance.
What do you think,
bad
kicking
hash.
expert?
I don't think they're going to make it.
Oh, he shanks it again. Their hopes of being within one possession die there. This
Not
likely-
yet. There's still a Brister interception. I mean, Brister keeps throwing like this right now, and I don't know.
You'd think they would give the ball to the running back.
Hey, look at that. They do. And Trunk
And it
Barkley
worked.
falls forward, getting them a first down.
It's really interesting to notice how much better Barkley's been in the second half and how much worse Jimbo's been in the second half.
I think it's because I was
It's really
talking
been night and
shit.
day.
Yeah.
I think Barkley actually does have more endurance.
I find it hard to believe that anyone is beating Jimbo on any single stat.
Only that one.
Actually, Mendez is miles ahead of them all in TPE.
That's fair.
Doesn't get on the
Mendez
field
is
well.
probably the only exception.
Is this coming back?
No.
Nope. That is game.
Classic Judas move.
And there we
And
go.
Burns goes 6 for 6 on extra points tonight.
There's still time. Is Van not in the chat?
I don't think he is. Of all the games he decides to miss, this is the one. Well, I mean, if he misses Wednesday, then I'll yell at him. As Jimbo's going to try and get a catch.
He might have been too stressed to watch it.
I don't blame him.
Oh, Scorp called out. This is not the 30-0 game.
Hoo-hoo. I mean, credit where credit's due. The Wallabies played a phenomenal game. So, if they had made their 2 field goals, it would have been a very different game.
Yeah,
Yeah, those gave the Rush good field position, and they definitely changed the pace of the game.
the hero ball would have never happened.
Yeah. I think the honest linchpin of this game was the kicking duel, funnily enough. And I don't think that's a knock on Meatwad. I don't think that's a knock on anyone. It's just sometimes
It's a knock on the bad hash.
it's just a knock on the bad hash, which they are looking into for 20. As Octavian McWaddle is going to grab a catch but not able to bring it in. All right, folks.
So
Your super
Hold on a second.
casual bowl
Let's spend
teams.
some time on the screen because, one, we're done for the night.
Yes.
The Rush only had 3 sacks in the first half, 7 in the second half. They only had 63 rushing yards at the end of the half, 297 at the end of the game. I mean, this was just a completely different team in the second half.
It really was. Which is actually funny that you say that because I think Brister got worse in the second half.
He
I
did.
agree with that. I mean, you don't expect a team with more turnovers, 4 turnovers, to win. 85 passer rating.
Compare that with Apache, who did also more turnovers, but had a better rating.
Oh, I meant more turnovers than the opposition.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, again, he was over 30 yards a carry in the first half.
Chonk Barkley kind of showed up.
Oh
The
my,
number
holy
senior
crap.
number 3.
Durden actually did not have a great game at all.
No.
He should have.
So, he could have caught 6 to 10, but there were 4 throws that were just over his head or not reachable.
I'm guessing he was the intended receiver on the 2 aliens plays.
Probably.
But still, I mean, he did still have 3 drops. So we can't excuse too many of his
No, not at all.
incompletions.
Akana had a
As
very
opposed
quiet
to
night.
Jackson. I mean, look at Jackson, 6 for 6.
So, here we go. Here's your fun history. Regardless of who won, you would have had a chance for in a super casual MVP to get a second ring. And in this case, it's going to be Jackson. Random
Wow,
trivia.
that is a hell of a fun fact.
Salamanca and Pumpkin.
So-
they put it all in the field.
So for the Vipers, obviously we have Ozark, who won in season 2 with the Flamingos,
That's right.
and then Jackson from season 1. Are there any other prior ring holders?
Akana.
Oh yeah, Ikana was with the Flamingos as well. Good call.
Boyd was with the
Oh, yeah,
Chocobos.
and Boyd. I forgot about you.
Wow. So the Rush have 3.
Yeah.
Some
Fun
of
fact,
that
Colby,
was,
you're also the only person in this booth without a ring.
there was a bit of a Chocobos.
Wait, I thought you were
exodus at
Chocobo
one
season
point.
1.
I am Chocobo
Oh.
season 1. You are the only one in the booth without a ring. Voice Chocobo season 1.
Oh, right now, yeah. Well, I'm optimistic.
Yeah,
You
so,
don't want one of the season 1 rings anyway. They got these weird birds on them.
So I will admit that I was very afraid of the Rush, and as a result, I told Schiffer on the last update, and he did it, to put all of his TP into speed. And so Schiffer is at 80 speed now. He's going to be a lot harder to sack than Apache.
We'll see.
So I think we can do this.
All right. So, Mr. John Boyd, not a dentist, now that you're back in the Super Casual Bowl, how does it feel?
It feels pretty great. You know, I wasn't sure I'd be here.
All right. Well, we will see you all. For anyone still listening, we will see you all on Wednesday. 7 o'clock, Super Casual Bowl. It's going to be great.
And if you haven't already, don't forget to vote for the end of season awards.
Cool. Talk to you all then.